Hello, my dear friends. Launching a business may come often with numerous challenges that you may face. So, for example, if you've thought about opening a new business and taking into consideration what kind of sources of financing you may find, for sure you heard that here in Romania you can access StartUP Nation, or you can go to a bank and ask a credit from the bank. So stay with me and find out which option is more suitable to you. If the StartUP Nation or non-financing grants or bank credits. So, you may heard about StartUP Nation 2025 or StartUP Nation. Let me tell you what is this. This is a program from our government in which they finance the businesses that are in the initial road. Basically, you can access this StartUP Nation financing program if you are between 18 and 35 years old, you don't have already established a company, or if you have, for example, you need to open a new one, and for sure the new one must be in the production area to gain percentage and to gain points on the total table. And you must attend an entrepreneurial course that is in the end financed by the ministry, and you need to have the diploma. So basically, this kind of program is especially for those ones that are already staying here in Romania, even if they have temporary residence permit or CNP obtained by the immigration. But they must have at least one of these two from our government in order to sustain the course, because this is the problem, the online training about the entrepreneurial skills, which must be completed in Romanian. So unfortunately, for those of you that do not know Romanian, you cannot access. But if there are amongst you people that do know Romanian, and for sure for all the Romanian people that are staying here in Romania, you can access this kind of financing. And now let's see, why StartUP Nation or why not? Let's see advantages and disadvantages. The most important advantage in the case of StartUP Nation is the fact that it's 100% non-refundable. Basically, you will receive 250,000 RON or 50,000 euro that you can spend on your business without giving them back. Secondly, you have a reduced own contribution. You have between 10% up to 20% contribution for the whole program. That means that you have to put between 5,000 euro up to 12,500 euro. Another advantage that I may see is the fact that this is a support for entrepreneurs. Basically, going to that training that they impose you in the beginning, the entrepreneurial course, you will have an idea on how to manage a business. So this is a good support for you in the beginning. Another advantage of this program is the fact that it has an extended eligibility. What do I mean by this? Basically, all the people that are between 18 up to 35 years old, they can access within certain conditions. But also there are another kind of categories of people that can access this kind of program. Between these categories, I can just name some of them, are diaspora, which means the Romanians that are abroad and come back to our country, are the persons that are unemployed, or the persons that have no income at all. And the fifth advantage that I can see for StartUP Nation is the fact that you have money for the first year of activity to manage all the businesses in your company. And another advantage that I can see is the fact that StartUP Nation has an amount of 80,000 RON that you can use for the first year of operational business. Basically, you can use those money on rent, salaries, taxes, utilities, and accountancy. These are some money that can be used in a good way in order for you to sustain the business in the beginning. Now let's see some disadvantages of the StartUP Nation, because there are not only advantages, there are also disadvantages. One of it is the fact that this is for companies newly created. Basically, if you created your company in February or previous year, unfortunately you cannot use that company. Of course that you can establish a new one after having the training with entrepreneurial courses, but this means that you will lose 10 points of that pointing area that I am talking. Another disadvantage is the fact that it's a bureaucratic and competitive process, which means that not all of you that submit the project will gain also the funding. You must have a good project and you must fulfill all the conditions and you must know exactly what you want to do. And the third disadvantage would be the delayed pay of the funds, meaning that, for example, if you want to start the business and you submit the request in the beginning, okay, it's no delay, but if you submit the request for giving back the money in the end, after 12 months of operating business, when everybody will submit the request, in that case, it's bad because there might be some delays. And this is something that everybody asks me each time I'm talking to someone to the phone. Will you give back the money, those 50,000 euro, if the business is not working? No, you'll not give them back if you will pay at least the contributions for those employees that you have, and of course pay them the minimum salary at least, and you do not sell the equipment that you took with this funding. If you fulfill these two conditions, you have no obligation to have a certain turnover, a certain profit, so the business must not be operational necessarily. It must be dormant, but you must fulfill all these obligations. Okay, and now let's see a little bit about the bank credits. What are the risks, the costs, and so on. If you need a quick source of financing for investments, or you just want to cover your current responsibilities, your current expenses, little bit better for you. Unlike StartUP Nation, any loan can be faster and can be with much more flexibility, can give you much more flexibility with what you can do with it. But take into consideration that it comes with the obligation to repay and pay also some additional costs. Let's see some advantages of the bank credit. First, you have quick access to the money. Basically, once approved, you can go immediately and use those money in whatever direction you want. You don't depend on, let's say, government approval. You can use it right away. You have variable amounts. It's not necessarily only 50,000 euro as it is in the case of StartUP Nation. You can access whatever you need, also depending on your business. You have no age restriction. Basically, whoever fulfills all the conditions of the bank can access this type of credit. And last but not least, can be used in various purposes of the businesses. Either it's investment, current expenses, I don't know, everything that you have in mind. Let's see some disadvantages of the bank credit, because these are also important. For sure, they are not accessible to newly set up companies. From my personal experience, what I can tell you is that you need at least 3 months of operational incomes and expenses, and to prove that you are profitable after 3 months. and only after that they want to give you a bank credit, but also depends on the turnovers that you will have on these 3 months. Another disadvantage is the fact that it has high costs. Besides the fact that you need to give it back entirely, you have commissions for granting, interests, and many other expenses. For sure, for this type of credit, you need and requires guarantees and complex documentation. This kind of credit is not so easy to be approved. And in the end, for sure, for any bank credit, you have the obligation of repayment. Basically, unlike StartUP Nation, this credit that you will access with any bank, you need to give it back and also to give back the interest. And now in the end, StartUP Nation or bank credit? What is the best possible solution for your business? My answer is like this. The decision depends on your purpose and your objectives. If you are under 35 or you are in some categories that can also access StartUP Nation, you are at your first business and you want to access some non-reimbursable funds, then StartUP Nation is the best option that you can have. If you already have a business that generates some income, some profit, and you need faster financing, then in this case a credit may be a good option. But do not forget that even for businesses that are on the market for many years, there are solutions for obtaining financing as well. You just need to decide and you just need to establish clearly what are your purposes and objectives in medium and long term. So my advice here in the end would be to choose what is best for you, what choice best fits you at this stage of your business, at this stage of your level of incomes, and of course that allows you a better flexibility. And now, honestly, I'm curious what you can or should choose. I'm waiting your comments here in the comment area. Do not forget that you can anytime contact us on office.mbv-tax.ro, and you can write us there and you'll receive an answer from our colleagues in 1 or 2 days. Thank you very much for watching.